Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, Jai Srila Bhakti Rakshvidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai Savarikar, Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai, Jagannath Swami Ki Jai, Jagannath Subhadra Balabhadra Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Purushotam Ketra Ki Jai, Nilachala Ki Jai, Nilachala Chandra, Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami Baba Tume. Yes, Maharaj.
So Maharaj, my obeisances and all of our obeisances to you and to each other, Maharaj. Today, oh, we've got a little Spanish coming in as well. All right. So today, the beginning of our parikrama, and annual parikrama to Puri Dham, and this year, as you can see, we are in the comfort of our own homes, as it were, for most of us, for the parikrama. And I can just say that here near Rome in Italy, it's very hot. It's one of the hot days. And
it's in Rome this time, everybody. Not Milano, but Rome, just to underscore that point.
All right, and it is hot here, and it does remind us very much of Puri because it always seems to be a hot time when the Rath Yatra takes place. One of the leelas of Lord Krishna, one of the pastimes of Lord Jagannath. So we are quite in the spirit of Jagannath Rath Yatra today, and actually the devotees Maharaj have been very anxious, very kind of excited and happy, looking forward to the parikrama, and devotees saying, what a wonderful idea, how wonderful, we must join. So we have the opportunity, and we are joining together. We're joining together in our temple of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mata in Puri, and the deities of Sri Nitai Chaitanya Dev there. And of course, for us, this is our shelter in Puri. And just near Chatak Pavat, just near Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Bhajan Kutir there, Tota Gopinath, Haridas Thakur's Samadhi on the other side, and a road which was famous for so many of the bhajan kutiras of Goswamis, etc. So, Maharaj, we're starting here, and we've come to Puri, and as always, we try to stress to the devotees that when we are in Puri, and also now, that we have to see the Dham beyond the cover. And so we are seeing through the eyes of Gurudev, of Guru Maharaj. This is going to be revealed to us during these parikramas by the grace of Srila Goswami Maharaj. And there are many pilgrimage places in Puri, and in Puri, then so many pilgrims come who they're coming with a simple heart to engage in the happy festival with Mahaprabhu. They don't know really the relevance of Puri. So we are very fortunate to have revealed to us by Srila Prabhupada, by Srila Govinda Maharaj, of these days of parikrama, by Srila Goswami Maharaj, really the best person to present to us the factual teachings of our masters, and Goswami Maharaj has a big heart. This is a heart-to-heart sampradaya. And so we are here to hear from Srila Goswami in Puri Dham. So we've gathered all the pilgrims, whether they are pilgrims at the car festival or already they're pilgrims, they come beggars, many people. We will come and give respect to everything along the way. We are not to judge anything except our own attitude, our own behavior, etc. So really we're coming by heart to Puri Dham, and it is a pilgrimage that Gurudev was happy that we do. Guru Maharaj in Guru Maharaj's time was happy that we do. And they also want to hear, almost you can say blow by blow, what is taking place, what are the devotees doing when they're on parikrama. So now we have the Zoom, and we have Gurudev and Guru Maharaj watching from their viewpoint, watching us all and seeing how we're getting on. So let us all continue, let us all begin the parikrama, and maybe Goswami Maharaj can consider that some kirtan, some at least Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna, to start us at our temple in Puri, and then we'll head to our first pilgrimage place today. So we've got lots of devotees in Thailand. Look at how many devotees are there. Am I counting hundreds? Maybe hundreds of devotees are gathered in Thailand. So let us hear some, with your permission, Maharaj, we can ask the devotees to chant something, either the Mahamantra or Maharaj, if you have a suggestion for a kirtan, of course, please let us know.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jai. So.
Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Wo. All right. And
yeah.
Yes, Maharaj, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You speak.
Okay, Maharaj, sorry. Only now I'm seeing you. The picture changed, so I can see your indication. So everything in Puri for us, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, is certainly centered around Hari nam-sankirtan. It's centered around Mahaprabhu, and the way of worship of Mahaprabhu, as Guru Maharaj pointed out, is through Hari nam-sankirtan, and we see this throughout Chaitanya Charitamrita and throughout the descriptions of the Rath Yatra festival. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see how before the Rath Yatra begins, then the devotees, they congregate. They come from Bengal, they come from the different areas. They come and visit to Puri, and generally first coming to Mahaprabhu, their hearts taking their feet to Mahaprabhu, and then in Mahaprabhu's association coming for the darshan of Jagannath. Then Mahaprabhu settles everybody into their accommodation. By the grace of Kashi Mishra, who looks after them all, they're all fed, get some rest, and then from then on we hear about in the evening, the morning, throughout the day, kirtan is taking place. So now we've essentially followed in the footsteps of the pilgrims. We've arrived in Puri and we have kirtan, and now I think Maharaj after, so now everyone's got their accommodation, taken prasadam, rested, and now I believe we're about to start our parikrama. And Maharaj, you may say, perhaps it's the front gate of the Singadwara of the Jagannath temple, or perhaps we're going straight to Haridas Thakur's Samadhi. Or as you wish to take us, Maharaj, I can take us along the streets.
Yes. Well, first, as Mahaprabhu made his approach, we shall also consider that from a distance, after having taken sannyas, Kahan Krishna Prananath Murali Vadan Kahan Karun Kahan Pan Brajendra Nandan, that just as the first book we made for Srila Guru Maharaj, he titled Search for Sri Krishna, Reality of the Beautiful. And at the end of the Sad Goswami Astakam, it says, Hey, the 8th verse, Hey Radhe Brajadevi Ke Chalalite Hey Nanda Shuno Kutaha. Where are they? It's in a searching mood. Gopi Bhav, they're searching for Radha and Krishna. Where are they now? Is he on, Keshi Ghat or Jamuna Tira? Where? They're searching. So the real substance of Krishna consciousness is found in the search, right? As again in the intro to Search for Sri Krishna, Srila Guru Maharaj would hear reference Vedanta. We hear, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now that you've achieved human life, human consciousness, consideration, Brahma Jigyasa, you should inquire about spirit. Right? Bahir Artha Manina, go beyond the external things, get to the internal aspect, the spiritual aspect. But that's a general thing. So Guru Maharaj said in that introduction there, he said, Brahma Jigyasa, that is a dry thing. Rather, Krishnanusandhan, engage in the search for Sri Krishna. Krishna is rasa personified. So that means, as opposed to something dry, very juicy and tasteful and delightful. Right? Saying that is what the heart's inner necessity, what the heart is seeking. So, and we should say, every country has some specialty, especially the ancient civilizations, what they've introduced to the world or by culture and otherwise. And although her contributions are many, India, if we had to say, what India's gift to the world is God, the conception of God, all conceptions of God, from very abstract conceptions of God, the more refined conceptions of God, to the most refined and highest aspect of the personality of Godhead. God, religion, it actually comes from the East, from India. It's not in different places, they have different religions, but if you trace it all the way back, you'll find the very conception of God comes from ancient Vedic culture. Right? And there we will find that it says, in various ways and some mystical ways, that, the Savior will appear in the East. Right? The mercy will come in the East. The merciful divine dispensation to save everyone will appear in the East. Like we are in Charitanya, nadīyā-udayagiri Purnachandra Gaurahari. But Udayagiri, Uday, like every day we say, Aruna Uday, is the rising up. Where does the sun rise? So we say everyone will universally acknowledge that the sun rises in the East. But within the East, where is this Udayagiri? Without going into the details, let's just say it's in Jagannatha Puri, in that region, right? Just because our time is limited. That's what, so saying the sun rises there, but also the most merciful dispensation, divine mercy will appear there. So This can be interpreted in different ways. One way is Jagannath. That is the Jagannatha Puri, Jagannath Swami, Jagannath Prasad. The prasadam of Jagannath, that will be the mercy that saves everyone, right? That liberates everyone. It's also worth noting for those pursuing Krishna consciousness that it's also the appearance place of Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If he was born any closer to the Jagannath temple, he would have been born on the altar. Right? So here's the temple, and it couldn't be, he couldn't have appeared any nearer. So this, again, the merciful divine dispensation will appear in the east. It means this place. So on one side, Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, Jagannath Prasad, and by extension, what we will hear, the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Saraswati Thakur's appearance place. So where Mahaprabhu appeared, nadīyā-udayagiri, Purachandra Gaurahari, and Nabadwip, and withdraws his pastimes in Puri, Saraswati Thakur appears in Puri, and the inverse. Right? So we mainly think of, Vrindavan. We're always talking Vrindavan, and we'll hear that Nabadwip Dham is Vrindavan in distribution mode. Right? The pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the nam-sankirtan, the rasa lila in distribution mode, because it's singing and dancing. So the singing and rasa lila in distribution mode is the nam-sankirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his divine associates. Yata yata gaura padara vinde, vinde ta bhaktim krita punyarasi, tata tatot sarpati hridya kasmat, radha padamboja sudamburasi. Right? The entrance to Krishna Lila is Gaur Lila. Right. So Vrindavan, we understand, highest, reserved for the highest section of liberated souls. Guru said, so the non-liberated have been told to seek their fortune in Nabadwip. As he says, every atom of Nabadwip is capable of giving Vrindavan in full. Right. So we understand, Vrindavan, Nabadwip. Why Puri? Is it incidental, peripheral, or most significant? I once asked Srila Guru Maharaj that, because Mahaprabhu spends, after taking sannyas, spends the 6 years on tour, but then 18 years basically in Jagannath Puri. So how to understand that in relation to Nabadwip and higher, lower, and Guru Maharaj reminds us, when he uses words like higher, lower, more intimate, deeper, they're just indicators of particular, to take us in a particular direction of conceptualization. But so about their relationship, Nabadwip, Jagannath Puri. So Guru Maharaj responded by saying, he said, stalwart followers of Mahaprabhu prefer Nabadwip. And he referenced the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Particularly, we know after 6 years of sannyas, you can return to your village. Mahaprabhu goes to Nabadwip, takes off the padukas given to Vishnu Priya, and he makes his way toward Vidyanagar, the house of Vidya Vachaspati, relative of Sarvabhauma, Bhattacharya, and Gopinath Acharya. And everyone comes to see him. and later at the Aparad Bandhanirpat, all the offenders are forgiven their offenses. But when he's in Vidyanagar and he's on the balcony and comes out to see all the devotees the throng, 100,000 crossed the Ganga, no one could drown, they all went across at the same time. And they're climbing trees to have a glimpse of the inconceivable, incomparable beauty of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Srupam Bibranam Jagatatulyam, Raso Dama Kamar Buddha Madhur Damojalatanur. And twigs are supporting human bodies, so the trees are like the way trees are covered with leaves, they're covered with human beings. But mix in the human beings, devatas, to have a glimpse of Gaur Sundar. Sado Pasya Sriman Drita Manujakaye Pranayatam Bahadvi Girvanesha Paramashi Prabhritivi. Brahma, Shiva, donning the guise of human beings to have a glimpse of the beauty of Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Sundar. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's taking himself as one of the group and seeing Gauranga and saying, when will Mahaprabhu give up the robes of renunciation and come again and join us in Srivas Sangam, in the house of Srivas Thakur, for the Prem Sankirtan. Okay? We call sannyasis Maharaj. Right? Maharaj, it means great king. So he's saying, when will he give up this Maharaj dress and come back? And so it's parallels, the Braja Gopis, when they see Krishna, after 100 years separation, right? Atatiyad bhavan anikananam tutir yugayate tamapasyatam kutila kundalam shimukam trite yada udrikshasam pakshmakriddasam, who cannot tolerate the blink of an eye's worth of separation. That's like a yuga to them. After 100 years of separation, on the plea of an auspicious observance for the solar eclipse in Kurukshetra, Krishna and the queens of Dwaraka and his entourage, they come from Dwaraka to Kurukshetra, and Radharani on a palanquin brought by the Braja Gopis, and Nanda, Yashoda, Vrindavan, they all come and meet there in Kurukshetra. And so, after those who cannot tolerate an eye's blink worth of separation, so much so, they're cursing the creator, Brahma, for making eyes that blink. These teenage cowgirls are cursing the creator, saying how stupid he is to make eyes that blink. He doesn't know how to make eyes properly. Interfering with us in our eyes, drinking the beauty of Krishna. So then you would think, now long at last they're meeting the love of their life, and where are we told they cannot conceal their disappointment. Why? Because Krishna, Rajvesh, he's in the dress of a king. They're looking at and see no flute. Like you see, there's Krishna with the flute. Priya, Saki, his dearest friend, the flute. Right? And they're saying, what kind of Krishna doesn't have a flute? They're like discussing it. An imposter. Right? And not Gopavesh, Venukar, Navakishore, Nadavar, Naralila Hoya. Not dressed of a cowherd, but dressed like a king, and not Vrindavaranya, the Tulsi Aranya wood forest, but Lokaranya. It's like a forest of people. That's what a people forest. Just surrounded by all these people, chariots, horses, no flute, dressed like a king. What, as Guru Maharaj say, what's the fun? Right? So they're thinking, when will Krishna give up this and come back with us? Jamuna Puline, on the banks of the Jamuna, with his flute, playing his irresistibly sweet sound of his flute, dressed as the cowherd, that charming dress. We're talking, Vrindavan, the paraphernalia of the Lord is inseparable from him. It's not you take Radha and Krishna and put them in another environment. It's not the same. They're inseparable from their paraphernalia. Their paraphernalia is the Jamuna, the peacocks, the moon, the forest, everything that is Vrindavan. It is a construct of the heart of Srimati Radharani. Anya, and we'll hear that, the Rath Yatra, echoed, mirrored in the expressions, singing of Mahaprabhu, Anyara Hridayaman Moraman Vrindavan. Saying for others, their mind and heart are more or less the same. But not in my case. Anyara Hridayaman Moraman, my mind, my heart and mind, and Vrindavan are identical. It's a very revealing statement, because you can take it in different... So another way to take it is, Vrindavan is a construct of the heart of Srimati Radharani for their divine pastimes. It's perfect. Nothing else, everything else is less than that. When Guru Maharaj mentioned, so at this time the queens of Dwaraka, they're seeing Radharani, we hear in Gargasani, they're thinking like, they know how beautiful they are inconceivably beautiful. How beautiful could she be? They've heard, but not seen. And we're told, when the Braja Gopis carry Radharani in on a palanquin, and the Dwaraka queens finally see her, she's so beautiful, painfully beautiful, that the queens of Dwaraka faint. That gives us a hint of how beautiful. We cannot directly speak about her beauty, but through inference we can understand something. So, why did I say that before that? In Kurukshetra, they cannot conceal the parallel between what is seen in Vidyanagar. So, the inseparable paraphernalia of Radha and Krishna. So, when Mahaprabhu, we should understand, if he has descended Swabhaktevyam Sudham Nijabhajana Mudram Upadishan, with his devotees to experience bhakta-bhav and to teach Krishna Bhakti. Right? As Krishna, he cannot experience that. He's the object of all this devotion. Right? So the object cannot be the possessor of that devotion. Right? Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Ajami. He's the supreme enjoyer. The devotee's position is not one of an enjoyer, but enjoyed. So, but aparam kasyapi prani janam randasya kutuki rasotstama ritva madhuram upabhoktam kamapiya. Serving all of the divine servitors, one alone shines supreme to the degree that her absence from a trillion qualified Braja Gopis, the whole experience goes down. Radha Madaya Hriday Tatyaja Braja Sundari. Krishna leaves a trillion gopis to go search for one. That's spiritual mathematics, showing how this one is more qualified than 1 trillion of the other supremely qualified. Not that she's marginally more qualified than everyone else. She's 1 trillion-fold more qualified than everyone else. And what her heart experiences in separation, Bahi Vishajalahoy Bitore Anandamoy Krishna Premier Advaita Charit, what she experiences at that time awakened the curiosity in Krishna to experience her position. So he descends as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and with his devotees, he's experiencing bhakta-bhav, culminating in radha-bhav, maha-bhav, Swarupini Radha Thakurani, and teaching that to others. So, but it is, gradual evolution, subjective evolution. Like Gauranga said, evolution means really, the sun is a particular way, but from relative position, we see the sun is rising, and then it's gradual, and then showing different phases, but actually it has a particular position. But in his divine pastimes, he descends in this world, and has his childhood Nimai, baby Nimai, and Nimai Pandit and Nabadwip, and when he returns from Gaya, he's beginning to become immersed in Gopi-bhav. So he's experiencing bhakta-bhav. He's no longer showing divinity aspect. That's becoming eclipsed by this evolving devotional heart. Right? So we can say starts at bhakta-bhav, but then his target is radha-bhav. Radha-bhava duti subalita, to be completely engulfed, enveloped in the heart of Srimati Radharani. But we see these pastimes, can observe some sort of progressive, embrace of that position, leading to his, for various reasons, taking sannyas at the age of 24. So Mahaprabhu lives in the world for 48 years. 24 years, Nabadwip. And at the age of 24, he takes sannyas. And we know, after the sannyas, he can hardly contain himself, speak of nam-sankirtan. He's jumping up during the middle of the sacrifice, singing, dancing, chanting. All the devotees are there. Gauranga says in his Premadhamma Stotram before that, what does he say? Laka lochanasra harsha varsha, how tears streaming from the eyes of millions, seeing the beautiful locks of Nimai Pandit shorn away, and him becoming a sannyasi. But then after that sannyas, and he gets the name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Why is he saying? Because it's not a standard name, but you will give everyone Krishna consciousness, Krishna Chaitanya. So your name must be Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Because that's what you do. You give Krishna consciousness to others. This is the Acharya Leela of Radha and Krishna, Gauranga. So he will give, now Krishna himself, he's going to be the principal distributor of Krishna consciousness. To do that, he must embrace the position of Srimati Radharani, the greatest devotee of Krishna. To give the highest type of devotion to Krishna. Anarpita charim chirat kornavatarna kalo samarpaita munutadval rasam swabhakti sriyam. So, Hari Purata Sundar duties kadamba sandipita sada hridaya kandare spuratu va sachinandana. Rupa Goswami saying, may that Lord appear in your deep heart's core, illuminating everything with this highest type. Unatodjvala rasam, ujjvala bhakti rasam, the highest type of devotional love, affection, Krishna prem. So Mahaprabhu is running madly in search for Sri Krishna after sannyas. And Guru Maharaj tells, in a childlike state of divine ecstasy. And we know by the pull of the love and affection in the hearts of his devotees, he can't go. He's circling, right? Going to Radha-Desh and other places. And after a few days, he's tricked by Nityananda Prabhu on the banks of the Ganga to think it is Jamuna, because western side of the Ganga can be considered Jamuna, whatever, and says Nityananda in the guise of a sannyasi has tricked him, and there's Advaita Acharya waiting with fresh kopin and bahirvas, and he hasn't eaten anything for days, just madly searching for Krishna. Kahan Krishna Prananath Murli Vedan Kahan Karun Kahan Pan Brajendra Nandan, taken to Shantipur, and there they bring Mother Sachi, and it is after a few days of celebrating there, Advaita Acharya sings the song of Vidyapati, which we're told is the Mathura-biraha, the song that Radharani sings when Krishna finally returns. Because people want, does Krishna ever return? So according to this song, you can imagine the happiness of that. If this is Krishna's return, where it says, today I can't express how happy I am, and Madhava is in my house. That's the song that Advaita Acharya is singing. And anyway, after a few days there, then what to do? Mahaprabhu's taken sannyas. It's heartbreaking for Mother Sachi. What to speak of Vishnu Priya Devi? And Mahaprabhu tells Mother Sachi that this body belongs to you. You decide, whatever you say, and he means it. Whatever you say, that's what I will do. This body belongs to you. You decide what to do. 24 years old and incredibly beautiful. And Mother Sachi is saying, my heart's desire is that you'll always be with me. You just stay with me. That's what I want. But if you do that, then everyone will find fault with you and blame, like, what, he takes sannyas and then lives with his mom? You can't do that. Okay. So she's saying, and that will kill me, that everyone will blame you for that. But if you will stay in Jagannatha Puri, then devotees know that they're coming, going, then from there I will get some news about you. And that will be my solace. So it's actually with her permission. But as I say, that's one aspect to consider. Krishna, Mahaprabhu's path, they're multidimensional. Remember, the internal reason for his descent is to plunge the depths of radha-bhav. Bahiranga sangikori nam-sankirtan. In general, to distribute Krishna Prem through the agency of nam-sankirtan. Nam-sankirtanam yasya sarva papa pranashanam pranamo dukkha samanas tannamami harim param. The Bhagavatam concludes that way. So, but that's Bahiranga Sangha. That's his external reason for his descent, or what Guru Maharaj also called is public service, given release by Advaita Acharya in his mystic poem, where he's saying, the mad market is saturated. The market for divine madness has been saturated. Everyone's mad now with Krishna Prem through your Krishna nam-sankirtan distribution. So you're free. Right? When Mahaprabhu says to Sri Damodar, what does this mean? This is a strange poem that Advaita has written. And Sri Damodar knows what it means, but he knows also it's hinting towards the Shesh Leela, final pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So he says, well, I don't know what it means, but he knows fully well what it means. And Mahaprabhu said, I think it's like, they say in India, like Durga Puja, they make a deity out of mud for a festival. And then when the festival's over, you toss the deity in the pond. And then it goes back to earth and everything. That's what Mahaprabhu said. So he brought me down to Losidala Matrena, Jala with palm of Ganga, Jal, and Tulsi. He brought me down for some reason. And now he doesn't need the deity anymore. Considering that he is the deity, all deities, ultimately, it's even more humorous. It shows that the Supreme Absolute Truth has a sense of humor and says things that are absolutely funny. So he says like that, but what it really means is he's now free to go into his public service is finished, now private life, where he wants to culture radha-bhav, the heart of Srimati Radharani and all of its divine expression. And we're told after this that his divine manas, which is hard to control, it started like doubling, quadrupling, like just exponentially increasing day by day. It's difficult for him to maintain composure during the day, but to give some insight into how he is feeling. The verse of Rupa Goswami is Kwananda Kula Chandrama, Kwa Chandraka Lankriti, Siki Chandraka Lankriti, Kwa Mandra Murali Rava, Kwanu Surendra Nila Duti, Kwa Rasa Rasa Tandavi, Kwa Shaki Jiva Rakoshadi, Nidir Mamu Suritama, Kwa Hanta Bata Ha Digvidim. It's a verse of Radharani where she's saying, where Kwananda Kula Chandrama? Where's the moon who appeared in the Nandakul? Like we were saying in the 9th canto of the Bhagavatam, the Kir Sagar, the ocean comes out of the ocean of milk, right? And the Kurma, it's at the Suvarnabhumi airport, right? Kurma avatar, Lakshmi Devi comes out, is generated from that, the churning of the milk ocean, also the moon. But here, very beautifully saying, Kwananda Kula Chandrama. Where's the moon who appeared from the Nandakul? That's Krishna. Siki Chandra Kalankriti, the one who wears the peacock feather. Not the one who wears the royal crown. Who wears the peacock feather. Kasiki Chandra Kalankriti, from Mandra Muralirava, and who's like the deep sound of his flute makes your heart flutter and tremble. Kwa Mandra Muralirava, Nila Duty, surrender Nila Duty means who's like the blue, who's got the radiance of a blue sapphire. This is what he's thinking. Nanda, Chandra, Kul of Nanda lion, the peacock feather, the deep sound of the flute, the radiance of a blue sapphire, and then what? Rasa Rasa Tanavi. Where's the rasa of the rasa dance? It's called the rasa dance. Where's the rasa of the, what is the rasa dance without the rasa? Without Rasa Raj Krishna? Where is he? Always where? Searching. Gauranga said, the search for Sri Krishna. The value is in the search. In Krishna consciousness, you get merit for lamentation. Not from the exaltation of discovery, but the lamentation of loss produces wealth in Krishna consciousness. The search, the acknowledgement of not having, puts one in a position of having genuine need. Right? And then, qua rasa tandavi, qua siki saki jiva rakoshadi, oshud. The jiva means that medicine that will save my life. Without this, I will die. What do we hear in Madhya Mahaprabhu? Echoing the sentiments of Radharani, no prema gandosti darapi me haro. I don't have a scent of the fragrance of Krishna Prem, what to speak of a drop of that divine substance. Can't live, Guru said, Krishna Prem is so vital of vital things that if you, it's not a thing, Krishna Prem, Hema, Jambu Nada, it's like the mythical rivers of gold in heaven. It's not a thing in this world. That's why those who try to bring it down or express it in the world, they're sahajya imitationists. It's not real. They're posers. It's not a thing of this world. We're searching for something that doesn't exist in this world, but there is another world in which it exists. He's saying, and once coming in connection with that, separation is impossible. If you were separated, the result would be that you must die. So what Radharani will say, what is the proof that I have no love for Krishna? That I go on living and showing my face. I show my face to people in the world? Am I not ashamed to show my face to everyone? Proof that I have no love and affection for Krishna, because if I did, being separated from that, one must die. That's what he's waited all this time to exclude, because once going into that, you cannot come out of that. That's right. So he's having to always resist, because once he goes into that, that's why he needs release from Advaita. Once going into that, there be no return from that. That's why it has to go behind closed doors in the Gangbir. It's impossible to participate, Swarupa and Ramananda, and besides that, the effects upon him are unbearable to be seen by the devotees. Right? There are no windows. There are 3 doors that are barred shut, and he'll be running to find Krishna into the walls, bruising his face. Horrible. So when the devotees see him the next day, they can't bear to see these things. Right? Sometimes his joints separating by this much. That's not a pretty thing to see. Or going the other, all the limbs entering within the body. Unparalleled ecstatic transformations on account of the magnitude and depth of the prem that's being experienced. Right? We're told there's 8 different types of ecstatic symptoms, and we'll get to that. But experiencing all of them to an infinite degree simultaneously, it's almost impossible for human form to withstand. So anyway, and that Mahaprabhu, he wants to go to Vrindavan. Something's not, and he hears in the sky like, don't go to Vrindavan now, go to Vrindavan later. Now, go to Puri. Krishna is in Puri. That's what he hears. Like, oh, got it. I'm going to Puri. That's how he decides. It's almost like if he didn't get that type of, like he needed to hear the what do you call it? Akash Vani. Anyway, then redirected, and they're making their way towards Puri. But again, significant on it. Where do they stop? And no, I went Gopinath. There were many other places, but Remuna, the place of Gopinath. It just happens to be on the way? Look, if we take it that these are divine things, then nothing's by accident. Right? It doesn't just happen to be on the way. It's on the way literally, and it's on the way metaphorically. Because why? The Prem Ankur is in the heart of, was manifest from Madhavendra Puri. That's what Mahaprabhu, that's going to be his focal point, particularly the last 12 years of his manifest pastime, but the 18, right, is what came from the heart of Madhavendra Puri, the ultimate separation sloka, i.e. Dina Dadranatha He Maturanath Kadava. So it's must be where he stops. And it's there that we hear about Madhavendra Puri and all those pastimes with Gopal and Govardhan. But really, what does it come to? The point of where Gopal asked him to get the chandan, the sandalwood pulp, and to relieve his condition, and tells him in a dream, no, give it to Gopinath. Right. And after that, we're told, so Mahaprabhu is telling this story about the glories of Madhavendra Puri with Gopal and Vrindavan, and Gopinath, Kir Chor Gopinath, he steals the Kir from Madhavendra Puri, and the sandalwood, right? That's the focal point, is the rubbing of the sandalwood. Then what does he say? That on his disappearance bed, the supreme sloka of Rasa Kavya came out of the heart of Madhavendra Puri. This Ai Dina Dayadranatha He Maturanatha Kadava, and we're told only he tasted it, Radharani herself, who originated it, Mahaprabhu, and there's not a fourth person. Right? And it's the supreme, it said of Rasa Kavya, means of all the Rasa poetry, which is not just poetry, it's reality. This is supreme, what is there. And the key words being Deen and Daya. Deen means in want and fall, and Daya meaning merciful. So in separation from Krishna, she does not know how she can exist, and the only hope is that Krishna is merciful. Right? Will reveal himself. Like Guru Maharaj's Gyanati painted Basvata, hidden treasure of Bhagavad Gita, saying, when devotees reach a certain stage of separation, then Krishna reveals himself to them. So, and Mahaprabhu says to Nityananda Prabhu, is there anyone more fortunate than Madhavendra Puri? This is not like, some devotees are saying like, so-and-so is such a great devotee. Is there anyone, I mean, that's also has its value. But if you think about this here, if Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, says to Nityananda Prabhu, this is the two of them are making this assessment. And Mahaprabhu says, Nitai, is there anyone more fortunate than Madhavendra Puri? He should be in a position to answer that question. He could say, well, but he doesn't say there's. He agrees, yes. There is no one. So that means that they're certifying that what's come from his heart, which is mirroring the sentiments, the devotions from the heart of Srimati Radharani, there's nothing higher than. So for that to appear in his heart, that's why he's the most fortunate. And Mahaprabhu's come for that. That's the internal reason for his descent into this world. And then, and what does he say? Just as by rubbing the chandan, you get, it's converted into its essence. More and more and more is revealed. Saying, so by careful consideration of this sloka, everything will be revealed to you. That's what's told there. Right, so that bhava, that seed, prem ankur, is there. And just to conclude that part, what is it? At the conclusion, they give the 12 pots of kheer to Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, who keep, I think, 7 and push 5 back. And then we're told, just saying that, so, who is Gopinath? We're saying, Sriman Rasa Rasa Rangbe Bang, Krishna is Gopinath. And now Krishna is descended as Mahaprabhu. So does he really need to eat that kheer? If Gopal and Gopinath, they're the same. But really, why is he so eager for this kheer? Because he's now enveloped in the heart of, Yasomati Agyapeye Danishta Anito Shri Krishna Prasade Radha Bunje Hoye Prito. Yasoda tells Danishta, after Krishna's, all right, you take that and give to Radharani, and she'll take that, and her girlfriends, the Sakis, they'll take that. So so this is an experience he's not had before. All the bhog in the world he can enjoy, and is offered to him as Jagannath also. But this prasad, the kheer prasad of Gopinath, that he's now in a position to relish. Right? This is on his way to Puri. Right? And then after that, we're told that at a particular place, they're able to, like Atara now, I forget exactly where, but they're able to see the dwaja, the flag. Remember, there's the chakra and the flag. Do you remember about the flag? Okay, good. We like to change the flag every year. Hare Krishna. So you have the chakra, the flag, and other things. So they can see the flag, and sometimes, we can say something's called chuda, like chuda, the crown jewel, the top. When Mahaprabhu sees that, he's so happy. It reminds me when Gurudev was on Skype, one of the first times with the devotees in Lakta, and he turned to me and he said, Maharaj, he said, they looking me? They looking me? And I said, yes, Maharaj, they can see you. Now Mahaprabhu turns around and he says, Gopal looking me. I see Gopal, it's Gopal. Gopal's looking at me. That's what he sees. And the devotees look up and they see that Gopal is in fact looking at Mahaprabhu. And maybe glancing at them too. And he composes, it says like half a sloka verse about, that's what he's seeing. We just saw that. So seeing that, he sees that Gopal is looking at him. So as Guru Maharaj will tell us, when we see Jagannath, Guru Maharaj once said, we see an awkward figure. He said, but Mahaprabhu sings Shyama Sundar Krishna, and Ganga-like streams of tears are pouring out of his eyes. As Vrindavan Thakur says, normally Ganga comes from the lotus feet of the Lord. But in Gaura Leela, it's pouring out of the lotus eyes of Mahaprabhu. He's crying tears of Krishna Prem, streams of Krishna Prem coming out of his eyes, inundating the fortunate people surrounding. So he says, can I go or you go to the group? Either I go first or you go first. And they're thinking, if we go first, we won't know. No, you go first. That way he'll always be in front of them. And he starts going, and it should take around an hour and a half from where they are. Due to his ecstasy, falling to the ground, tears pouring from his eyes, his body trembling in ecstasy, crashing to the ground. What should take an hour and a half takes 9 hours from there. 9 hours. Until he finally arrives. Maharaj mentioned the Singador, goes for the darshan of Jagannath, and seeing Shyamasundar Krishna, he wants to embrace Krishna, to hug Krishna. That's the last thing he remembers, and he faints. Right? And the Hare Krishna, the police, they're used to dealing with people overwhelmed by emotions. In other words, they see what appears to be similar things, and so they just, when someone does that, they just pick them up and throw them out. They're going to pick them up and throw them out. That's what they do. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya comes in, whoa, no. And he is the court pundit of Prataparudra Maharaj, the king over us. So remember, at this time, Bengal is under Muslim rule, not so Odisha, Orissa, Puri, not. So the Vaishnava king, Prataparudra, is there. And sometimes Guru Maharaj would quote this saying, about Nimai Pandit, Nabadwip he rejected, Puri he collected. And sometimes the Puri people will say like, Odissi people will say like, the Bengalis, they don't get Mahaprabhu. He had to come here. And what did Guru Maharaj say? Bhakti, the real devotees are in Nabadwip. It's just like Kamsa's arena. People with 10 different points of view, and all can be entertained in different ways. Mala nama, shanirni nam, nadabara, srinam, swaram, murtiman. So, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, seeing this, and he knows about these things. Asta sattva, sudipta sattvic, different ecstatic symptoms, how to analyze them, detect them. So he tells, interestingly, a group of pandas to carry him to his place. And ironically, these are pandas who normally carry Jagannath to the chariot. When he can't move. So such is their good fortune. So that, like they normally carry Jagannath on that so-called Pandu Bijai. Now they're carrying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the house of Vasudeva Sarvabhauma. Right? And gradually the others are coming, Nityananda Prabhu and other devotees, and all, hearing some new, and they hear some sannyasi fainted before Jagannath. And it's also interesting to point out that he's there as Jagannath and Sankarshan. Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. So there's Vasudeva, Jagannath, by extension, Sankarshan, Balaram, still seeing his fainting under the influence of that devotional heart, okay, carried to the house of Vasudeva Sarvabhauma, and like the way Chaitanya Maharaj, the way like ants carry some, like they carry a piece of food or something. Like you see 6, 8, 10 ants, they like carry something. They're carrying Gauranga Mahaprabhu to his house, and Sarvabhauma does the cotton swab test, because we're told the 10th stage of separation is death. So 9, 1 through 9, now into 10. A death-like trance. Remember, however he is fainted to this world, he's conversely penetrated into the upper world. So it's not that he's just lying there unconscious. He's unconscious externally due to the depth of internal awareness of what he's experiencing. And he remains like that for 9 hours. And that's enough time for Nityananda Prabhu and others to arrive, including Gopinath Acharya. And Gopinath Acharya is related to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And they start having a discussion. Because the position of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, as far as he can see, Mahaprabhu is a Mahabhagavata, a Siddha Purush, a Mahapurush, a great devotee. Ironically, that's true. He's in the guise of the greatest devotee. So it's not untrue what he's saying, but that's as far as he's can consider. And he's saying, I've never seen this, and now I'm seeing these divine symptoms which we didn't even know were possible in a human being being expressed here. So he is thrilled about it and just overwhelmed with his good fortune and totally revering, but as a Mahapurush, a Siddha Purush, etc. And Gopinath Acharya is saying, Sarvabhauma, his name was Vasudeva Sarvabhauma, you know everything. Everybody knows that you're the man who knows everything. That's why you're Pratap Parudra Maharaj's court Pandit. Right? No one compares to you in learning. Saying, you know everything except one thing, that who is lying before you, it's Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That somehow escaped your Pandit knowledge. Who saying, Bhagavan, yes, this is Bhagavan, Swayam Bhagavan, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's quite a claim, And Sarvabhauma, remember, you just said, I know everything. He said, you know better than me. There's no Leela avatar in Kali Yuga. One of the Lord's name in Mahabharata, Triyuga. He appears in 3 ages, not this one. So, and Gopinath Acharya is saying, I know a few slokas too. Said, well, what is the other, how with Srimad Bhagavatam and Mahabharata? Does that work for you? Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata. In the Bhagavatam, Prahlad, we heard, Triyuga, Chanakalo. The reason it's called Triyuga is because in Kali Yuga, Chana, he's covered. He's in disguise. He's not coming as Bhagavan. He's coming as radha-bhav dyuta subalita, enveloped in the heart and halo of his beloved. He's concealed. Anta Krishna bahir goram darshitangari vaibhavam. So therefore, what does it say? Krishna varnam trisha krishnam sango pangashtra parshadam yagye sankirtana praye yajanti hi sumedasa. But this will only be detected by those who are sumedasa, who have refined theistic intellect, will understand that he's Krishna. Internally he's Krishna and externally Gaura. Anta Krishna bahir Gauram darshitangari vaibhavam. Jiva Goswami. But here, and what did it say in so that's Bhagavatam, couple slokas from the Mahabharata. Suvarna varna he mango barandas chandanagadi sannyasa krich shanto nishta shanti parayana. In a codified, encrypted way, there in the Mahabharata. And he's saying, anyway, what is the point of this kind of discussion? It's not data transfer or gyan or punditry. You need some mercy to understand this, not brain, intellect, all those things. Some divine kripa, leish, right? Because he can only reveal himself to whom, through whom he chooses. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo namedaya na bahuna srutena tame vaisha vivrinute tena labhyas toshaisha atma vivrinute tanum swam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, he's saying, and he quotes the Bhagavatam, the prayers of Brahma. Atapite deva padambuja dvaya prasadale shanugrihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavat mahima. He's saying, so here it says, somebody, Hare Krishna. Here it says, prasada leish means a little bit of mercy. Brahma realized that. With what to speak of one brain, 4 brains couldn't fathom Krishna, couldn't properly estimate with, a 4-core processor. Right? 4-brain Chaturmukh Brahma. This prayer, he's saying, unless we get some mercy from you, it's not possible to understand you. As Gauranga said, the infinite must make itself known to the finite. The finite cannot realize the infinite by finite means. Atak Shri Krishna namari nabhavyed graham indriye. But the infinite can make itself known to the finite. Sevan mukhe hijabadu shayameva spurtada. When seva, self-sacrifice, self-giving, self-offering, atma samarpanam, that flow is in the heart, then Krishna may reveal himself. But there it says, prasada leish, a little bit of mercy. And now Sarvabhauma's been, and so you've got the mercy and I don't, come on. What's the evidence for that? And he says, bhakta-bhav, that you'll understand spiritual substance. And I remember, I was arguing with my friends a long time ago in San Francisco about different philosophies, systems, and all these things, and always conflict in class, and someone saying, can you show me God? And I just got Prabhupada's Isha Upanishad, I'm reading the introduction, and Prabhupada says there, Sometimes people will challenge and say, can you show me God? And they're going, yeah, that just happened to me, 15 minutes ago. And he said, but do you have the eyes to see God? That's the answer to that question. Right? Shastra Chakshu, Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Hrit Saroja Ase Shutekshita Pato Nanunata Pungsang. The Shruta Patayo. The Shrutekshita means seeing through hearing. Right? Stanestita Shrutigatam Tanabanmanova. Hearing from a substantial devotee. Right? So, anyway, that was, so Gopinath stops saying the arguing is not going to get us there. Tark, vitark, right? We'll say tarko pratishtana. You won't get it that way. Achintakolo ye babas not tarkena yojayet. So, and then gradually Mahaprabhu was coming back to consciousness, and Sarvabhauma makes arrangements for him to stay nearby. And his son, Chandaneshwar Sarvabhauma, saying, take the others for Jagannath Darshan. Like Nityananda and all the other group. And his son says, all right, look, if we can't have a repeat of this. Because it's Nityananda Prabhu and he's saying, so you got to all promise me, remember the 200 Mahabhagavatas that Shivananda Sen brings every year, including many eccentric associates of Nityananda Prabhu. So he's saying, just promise me that everybody will behave, there won't be any fainting, and and they're, oh yeah, yes, Prabhu, of course, When they go there, of course, Nityananda Prabhu can barely maintain his composure somehow. And Mahaprabhu says, in the future, even when I'm not going to go in the temple anymore, I will go as far as the Garuda Stamba and from there have darshan. He realizes he will not be able to control himself. And this is in the beginning of the Puri pastimes. It will only intensify as time goes on. What we fast forwarded to the release papers from Advaita Acharya. But anyway, so Mahaprabhu was given a place to stay, then Mukunda Dutt and Gopinath Acharya, they're not big fans of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya at this point. Some of the things he's saying are paining their hearts. So they tell Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu said, no, he's nice. Look, he rescued me in the temple, brought me to his house. He's just paternal. It's like Vatsalya, I am young, and he's a well-wisher. Really he is. So don't think like that. And they're like, okay, if you say so. Then it's arranged that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is inquiring, like 24 years old, he's so beautiful, like sannyas, trying to find out about his and told about his mother, father, lived in Nabadwip, the situation. And Sarvabhauma is thinking, after he hears who he took sannyas from, like, maybe I can give him an upgrade on the sannyas side of things, and some Vedanta instruction, and that'll help him maintain his sannyas. And so it's arranged that he will teach Mahaprabhu. And because he's saying the sannyas dharma is to hear Vedanta. Mahaprabhu, all right. Sarvabhauma starts speaking Vedanta for 7 days. Every day they meet, he's like talking about, and Mahaprabhu's not so much as nodding when he speaks. He's just And Sarvabhauma was saying, like, 7 days, you could at least, like, give a little nod, or if you understand what I'm saying, I know that this is really deep stuff. And Mahaprabhu said, no, it's, he said, I actually understand Vedanta. Just, what are you talking? that I don't understand. He said, Vedanta is like sunshine, and your talking is like clouds. And then he starts telling them, and the shorthand for Vedanta, and it's a shorthand for all devotees. You want to understand what it is? He said, wherever you see the word Brahma, insert Krishna, and then you'll understand it. Wherever you see the word Brahma, you insert Krishna, got it. That's what it is. Vedaista sarvara hangeva vedo. He's saying, I'm what is to be known by Vedanta Ved, Vedakrit Evata. I wrote all these things through others. It's about me. Don't get sidetracked talking abstract and word jugglery and all these things. It's about me. If you don't understand how it's about me, you're misreading, you're misguided, you're off track. So Mahaprabhu's now educating him, and he's saying, and really, like, don't feel bad. He's saying, even the great Atmaramas, they also appreciate Krishna. Means, the self-satisfied soul. They're not just satisfied with some generic, spiritual, abstract understanding, but they also have deep appreciation for Krishna. And Sarvabhauma, like, did you say Atmarama slok? Yes, in the Bhagavatam, Atmaramas api urukrame, chamuneo nirgranta api urukrame. Could you explain? Mahaprabhu said, why don't you go first? Sarvabhauma, like, all right. And Gauranga is saying, trying to regain his prestige, he gave 9 explanations. Like, Mahaprabhu, that is impressive. I'm impressed. Then he gives 18 explanations, not touching on any of the 9. Then Sarvabhauma is like, maybe Gopinath Acharya was right. This is beyond human, and he starts, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm instructing, this is bad. And he becomes so apologetic, and he's undergoing a conversion. Because, and Nimai Pandit, Mahaprabhu was teasing him, saying like, the explanations you gave, Brihaspati couldn't even do that. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is Brihaspati, descended to, he's being upgraded to Gaur Leela. So he joked, Brihaspati couldn't do that. Anyway, then Sarvabhauma is converted. He writes the Sarvabhauma 100 slokas and praise instantly. That's when he said Brihaspati couldn't do that. And Mahaprabhu reveals his Ishwar Murti to him, his divinity. Charitamritam says Chaturbhuj, Chaitanya Bhagavat Shadbhuj, 6 arms, saying, who was the bow and arrow? Ramachandra. Because Ramachandra is universally accepted as God. We're saying, who was Ramachandra? Later, Krishna. The flute player Krishna, God. Saying, so if you accept Ramachandra as God, Krishna as God, who came as Ramachandra, who came as Krishna? He's now here before you as Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Inconceivable. And of course, Sarvabhauma fainting, and sworn to secrecy by Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna. And he composes 2 more slokas besides the 100. these special ones. One, Vairagya Vidyanija Bhakti Yoga. And what's the other one? Kalan Nashtan Pralaye. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Shariyada. So in praise of Mahaprabhu, and it's told, devotees would wear these slokas around their neck like a pearl necklace. All the devotees memorized them. And this was great for the followers of Mahaprabhu, because they say, the court pundit of the king of Puri has become a devotee of Mahaprabhu. Right? That famous logician, right, who is, described as a reservoir of bad logic and eating the dry cakes of logic, is now feasting on the Mahaprasad with Mahaprabhu and his devotees. And we're told, so the next day, so he's now converted him. But just to check up on him, the next day Mahaprabhu comes. He went early to the temple. They got some Jagannath Prasad. They come. It's that Aruna Doi time, just around sunrise. Come, to Sarvabhauma. Mahaprabhu has come. And Mahaprabhu is there with Jagannath Prasad. And Sarvabhauma has not, he just woke up. He hasn't cleansed his mouth, bathed anything. And he starts quoting slokas about the glories of Mahaprasadam, and immediately takes that prasadam. And the slokas he's quoting are saying that. When Mahaprasadam comes, you just take it. No consideration. Time, place, this, that. You just immediately should honor that. And Mahaprabhu says, today I've conquered the world. Because this great Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who knows all the rules, all the regulations, all the scriptures, all the shastra, everything, he's taken the prasad of Jagannath without hesitation. So in other words, he's now a raga bhakta. What does he come to give but raga bhakti? So he's celebrating that, very happy, as are all the devotees. And just to finish, and then later, when they're all coming, and the Shivananda Sain brings the 200 every year, and Sarvabhauma doesn't know everybody, and he's on the rooftop with Gopinath Acharya and Prapata Purudra Maharaj, and they're saying, who are these? I see Mahaprabhu sending garlands. Oh, that's Advaita Acharya from Shantipur. That's Nityananda. And who's that? And they're telling who all the devotees. And at one point, Pratap Purudra Maharaj is saying, because he's the one who doesn't know who everyone is. And he says, how is it that some people cannot know and understand and accept that Mahaprabhu is Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead? How is that possible? And Govinath, Sarvabhauma says, Atapite Deva Pradam Bhujadvaya Prasadale Shanagri. You have to get some mercy, otherwise you won't recognize. It's not possible. So you have to get a little mercy. Gopinath, Sarvabhauma. Hare Krishna. There they are. Pratap Purudra. Sarvabhauma Shodana Gajapati Tarana. Today Sarvabhauma, tomorrow Gajapati. If not tomorrow, soon. Madhusudan Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj. How can I be of service?
Well, I think for today, that's the program. And we'll cover more tomorrow.
Maharaj, wonderful. And really...
you want to add something now, please do.
Maharaj, I cannot add anything if I wanted to, but I can just say at the beginning, we said that we are the Gaudiya Vaishnava line. When we come to Mahaprabhu, when we come to Puri, then we are very Mahaprabhu-centered, unlike the general Hindu pilgrims who come for the Rath Yatra festival. And Maharaj, you've made it very clear to us all, and a wonderful introduction for this year's parikrama.
Hare Krishna. All right.
On behalf of all the devotees, Maharaj, our appreciation, of course.
And we will continue tomorrow evening.
Jai.
All right. So, Hari Harai Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hari Harai Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Acharya. Radharani Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindavan. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Hey Jai Go Jai Go Charana Bandhan. Jaha Hoite Vignanash Avista Puran. Hey Jai Go Jai Jar Mui Taro Das. Kansavada Padarenu Mora Panchagram. Kandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanebas. Janame Janame More Abhilas. Hey Jai Go Jai Jabe Braje Koilobas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korilo Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Amon. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan. Hari nam-sankirtan kohe narotamodan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaura Hari Bo. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Paribhajaka Acharya Saraswati Shri Srimad Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pad Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Jiu Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Go Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Nabadwip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannatha Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Swami Ki Jai. Jagannath Subhadra Balabhadra Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Devi, Jamuna Devi, Bhakti Devi, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Pad Vishma Varenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Bhimalavadut Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Sri Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Sri Paramananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Priya Didi Ki Jai. Sandeep Krishna Prabhu Ki Jai. Maheshwari Didi Ki Jai. Soma Veda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Seva Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
Jai.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. And Hare Krishna. And Rome and Vila Govinda and Tonks Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Balabhanta Prabhu and all the devotees there. Ekadashi Dini. Praneshri Didi. Doing the Espanol translation Dandavat. Kum Kum Didi Dandavat. Chaitanya Moi and Dhananjaya Prabhu also in Rome. Dandavat. Chaitanya Nitai Prabhu in Vrindavan, Dandavat. Nityananda Ram in Colombia, Dandavat. Brajalatika Devi Dasi, Dandavat. Brinda Devi Dasi and Nizhny Novgorod, she is Kalandi Priya's mom, Dandavat. Dharini Sundari Didi, Dandavat. Chamuna's mama Elena in Moscow, Dandavat. Hey Krishna. Suresh Krishna Prabhu. In Latvia, right? Huh? Yes. Hare Krishna. Dandavat. Priyanana Didi and Lakta. Dandavat. There's Kalindi Priya. All right, the daughter. Hare Krishna. Achyutananda and Yaroslav. Dandavat. Tapananandini Didi. Perhaps in Mexico. Dandavat. Yes? All right. Utesri Didi and Zaporizhia. Dandavat. Lakshmi Priya in Kiev, Dandavat, they're both in Ukraine. Sundari in China, Dandavat. Amya Sindhu Prabhu, where is he? Mayapur, Dandavat, Dandavat. Sulalita Didi in Orsk in Russia, Dandavat. Radha Raman Prabhu in UK, Dandavat. Damayanti Didi in Tonks, Dandavat. Pavel Brun Prabhu in Moscow, Dandavat. Seva Rupa Devidasi. Where is he? Is he in South Africa? Yes. All right, yes. All right. Mathura Basini. Dandavat. And Leela Sundar Prabhu in Ukraine, Dandavat. Madhavi Lata Didi, Dandavat. Tavakatamritam. Hare Krishna. Dandavat. Abhiram Prabhu, Dandavat. Krishna Chandra Prabhu, Dandavat. Pritu Prabhu, Dandavat. There's Nalina Nayana. And Ram Sundar Prabhu, Dandavat. In China. Hare Krishna. Dandavat. Nadia Priya in Ukraine, Dandavat, Ajita Shadidi in Ors, Dandavat Sulakshana is doing the Chinese translation here. Jai Srila Bhakti Asrai Dandi Maharaj, perhaps in Moldova. Dandavat. Lakshmi Priya in Ukraine. Is that everyone? Pardon me? Indumukhi and Mitra Vinda in China, Dandavat. And I see Tunga Rasa. Things jumping around. Gauranga Prabhu, Dandavat. Ananda Leela Didi in Brazil, Prafula Krishna Prabhu, Parama Bhakti, Dhananjaya, Kamala, Kalindi Priya, Rasananda, Krishnendrani, Rishikesh, Jai Sripad Bhakti Sevan Rishikesh Maharaj, Anu Krishna, Chandrakanti in China. All right, I think that's everyone, right? Huh? I can't hear. Is that everyone? Okay. Vansakopa Tribhyasta Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha.
And we meet tomorrow at the same time. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Jai Shri Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nittai Gauranga
Jai. The Changmai Bhakta Vrinda. Changmai Chenmai Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai.
We're told, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So the Romans we know are now Dhananjaya Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahi, by extension Madhusudan Maharaj, he's now a Roman. We're following him. Hare Krishna. Munendra Krishna Ganda. And also Banavi. They're also Roman.